It's October 1st, Tuesday, here at the West End Gun Club. It is right at 0600. It's still dark. Came out here obviously to shoot my Vudoo 22, which I talked about in the most recent vlog, and I published an article about it on ocabj.net, so definitely go check that out if you haven't read it yet. There's a couple guys already here in their vehicles, just waiting, I guess, for the sun to come up. But since I have my lights up, I'm gonna go ahead and just at least get some of my stuff set up and then get my targets out there so I don't have to walk out there later. But yeah, let's go get set up, and hopefully when the sun comes up, we can start shooting. The one thing about a lot of these bench rush shooters is they tend to have a lot of the wind flags, and so I remember back in the day when I was at Inland Fish Game, they used to have a 50-yard bench rush shoot. A lot of guys shot Rimfire 50 yards, and they had a lot of wind flags, such as you see here. It's pretty nice to have these things, and I was actually looking to get in a few since I've been shooting a lot more Rimfire myself. They're actually kind of pricey. Basically, you got a glorified light stand with some sort of I don't know, device like a flag or a what am I trying to say, propeller type deal. And so they have these on ball bearings or whatever, and so they're a pretty good way to indicate wind for the short range stuff. So it's kind of cool. Maybe I'll manufacture something myself since I do have my own light stands, but these guys have these things on bearings, which is pretty cool. So anyway, I'll just be cheating and using their wind indicators on the main line while I'm shooting today. So it's fairly chilly this morning. I would say it's about 50 degrees right now. Chilly for California. Not used to this crap, so I'm doubling up or tripling up on my jacket and sweater here. Cleaned the bore since I last came out, and so we're gonna go ahead and shoot a bunch of kind of seasoning rounds to get the barrel lubed up. Based off my 50-yard zero, Kestrel says I'm at 1.85, but we'll go ahead and just go 1.8 and hope for the best. 50-yard 0 to 100. For some reason, I forgot to put my SD card in here, so
Everybody got your ears on?
it should record. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna have to write down my numbers though, since I don't have a spare memory card in my bag. So we're gonna go ahead and just shoot as we can, and I think I might actually be able to connect it with Bluetooth. I'm gonna shoot some Center X, which I only have about 200, maybe 300 rounds left. I didn't buy that many because I was still trying to debate whether or not I'm gonna go with Center X, but it sounds like I will, based on at least from previous vlog. I figure I should at least get another brick or so. A brick's going to cost about $105 roughly, give or take, depending where you buy it from. And probably just get another brick at least before I, it's not too much to spend before I finally figure out what ammo I'm going to use. But it seems like Center X is going to be the way to go anyway. And I should definitely, well, ideally you want to kind of lot test, but it's very difficult without going to the Pool Rimfire Center to get a good indicator of, or sorry, a good sampling of lots. And I'm actually debating on doing that. If you read my article, I mentioned the Lapua test or Rimfire Test Center. It's out in Mesa, Arizona. And so basically you can go there in person if you want. You can ship your gun. It's $50, I think, for a session. And you can basically shoot your gun. They'll take your gun out of the stock and put it in the fixture, and they'll shoot in a wind tunnel to get group test your gun with various lots of ammo. So I'm thinking about doing that and making the drive out to Mesa. Help if you take your empty chamber indicator out. I'm surprised though that I'm not on target. I did zero stop the gun, the scope, but maybe I did it wrong. I'll have to I'll have to check, verify 50 yards, but it looks like I think I might have zero stopped it incorrectly. Unless the data's all wrong. But I came up 1.85, 1.8, and it's still low. I'll have to re-verify at 50 why my zero is not correct, my elevation zero. So I didn't really get great groups at 100 yards. I do think the wind is affecting this with some updraft. I did laze the target. It's 106.1 yards, and that equates to roughly 2.13. And I think it's actually closer to what it should be. I think I have 2.3 on the gun right now, so it's relatively close. But I shot about 50 rounds of Center X. Did I shoot 50 rounds? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 10? No, that's 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Yeah, 50 rounds Center X. I'm going to go ahead and shoot exact. I really shouldn't because it could be wasting ammo at 100 yards with this wind. I'm clocking it around 5 to 6 miles an hour depending on when the gusts hit. But I'm going to go ahead and shoot a couple strings of exact, which is expensive comparatively speaking for Rimfire, but we're here. We have targets set up, so we may as well shoot it. So I pulled in the targets, swapped out paper. I'm going to just stick here on the 100-yard main line for now, since I'm already here. So just a couple fouling groups right here. And then we got Center X, which is roughly about 1.25 inches. Center X is another 5-shot group. That's 1 inch. Center X again, roughly about 1.25 inches. Center X. This one I threw. I saw it recoil funny. Center X 10 rounds, and then we went exact for a little bit. I got this nasty up and down stringing. Exact, and then exact again, and exact again. So I'm getting some nasty up and down with exact. Not sure why. Exact starting to tighten it up a little bit here, and same here. That's the previous group. So about not much, maybe a little bit the same as Center X, but with a vertical. Then I shot some more Center X, which is about 1 inch. Center X, definitely under 1 inch. And then Center X 10-round group. Threw that one down there. And then I shot some SK long range, and this shot actually pretty good. 10-round string. I'd say about 1 inch. So I'm going to just shoot some more. I'm running out of Center X. I want to save some for some 50-yard verification. So I'm going to just shoot some SK right now, and we'll see how that performs at 100.
I got a 6mm barrel, and I got 243. Yeah, that's the sold in California. California, you got to use this. You don't have an action. Yeah. You want to shoot that 7mm some more? No.
Here's a second set of targets here. So this is SK long range match, SK long range match. I think SK long range across the board here. Then I went SK rifle match across the board and right here. And I went to, sorry, this is also SK rifle match. So long range match for this row, rifle match for this row, rifle match for this row. And I switched back to Lapua Center X on these. So throughout today, I know for a fact that my vertical stringing is a result of me in the bag, and I'm just watching my reticle as I let this gun recoil. So I know when my bag control is bad. So I know that this gun will favor something like this or like this with SK rifle match, Center X. Center X, this is decent. And then, you know, long range match, I know I can get it to center up. It's just me in this vertical stringing. So that being said, I think this gun is shooting relatively accurately 100 yards. I mean, it's going to get a 1-inch group, sub 1-inch group with SK or Lapua ammo at 100 yards. It's just up to me to control it. I would very, very much like to get this in a controlled environment and actually shoot this this gun in like a tunnel, like at the Lapua Rimfire Test Center. But maybe we'll make arrangements to head out to Mesa, Arizona in the very near future. But I'm gonna go and pack up my gear and I'm gonna head up to the Rimfire range, and I'm gonna re-zero at 50 yards to make sure that my gun is shooting on at 50 yards. So you can see I moved to the Rimfire range where it's much quieter. I'm the only one here right now. The main line's gotten pretty packed, so I got my data or whatever. I didn't really record velocities, but got some group testing done at 100 yards, which is good. But I definitely wanted to check my 50-yard zero. So when I was kind of high, right? According to the Kestrel, I should be at like 1.85 for 200 yards, but I was as high as 2.5 mils. But then I ranged it with the laser rangefinder and said I was actually at 106. Then I adjusted the Kestrel for 106, and it actually said for those conditions about 2.15 mils, which is about right because depending on where my groups were, I was probably 0.2 of a mil high. So I finished off at the 100-yard line with 2.2 for 106 yards, which makes sense. So I think my zero stop is good, but I do want to double check with at 50 yards. So I'm going to go ahead and run some Center X. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm actually running out of Center X. I think I only had about 400 rounds, 300 rounds. Not even, yeah, that's about a brick. But I do need to buy more. And since I'm still testing the Vudoo, I didn't want to buy a lot of it. But I guess I should at least get another brick or two. And go from there. So 5-shot group is good. We're just to the left. There's no wind right now, so, well, negligible. I would almost consider this a no-wind zero. So right now I need 0.4 of a mil right. Yeah, we're pretty much dead on. Our elevation zero is good at 50 yards. Yeah, we're pretty much perfect here. 0.4 of a mil right. When I go home, I'm gonna zero my windage turret. But let's go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and zero because do some dope checking for 65, 75, and 85 yards. I have three banks of steel targets. It's a good 3-shot group there. So 0.77 for 75. Pretty much dead on. 1.16 mils for 85, but I'm going to go ahead and adjust. I'm going to do it 1.1 because based on my previous targets, it looks like I'm hitting high by about a tenth of a mil, maybe slightly more. And my bipod needs to come up just a bit more. So what's the problem with elevated ranges like this? You have to shooting at an angle. If anything were below point of aim, yeah, we're on. I'm going to adjust up 1 click, so 1.2 to round up from 1.16. Put a round down. Yeah, it made no real difference. Granted, that was just 1 round. Yeah. High. So I think 1.1 was better. Cool. So we're on for, so I've confirmed 65, 75, 85 is about in line with the Kestrel, give or take a tenth of a mil. Here's a quick shot of the 2 5-round groups that I shot at 50 yards to re-verify the elevation zero or the zero stop on my collis. This is the first shot. I was firing right to left and I went a little bit left of center, so I adjusted 4 tenths of a mil right from the zero on the windage to get it centered up. So my zero is good. This is in a fairly no wind condition, and these groups are well under ½ an inch. And I got this app called Ballistic X, and you're able to measure your groups via photos. And so basically it's telling me that the second group that I shot at 50 yards had a group size of 0.24, which is 0.47 MOA at 50 yards. And then this group size was roughly 0.31. I don't know how accurate this is, but it's probably just as accurate as me using calipers on a piece of, measuring edge to edge on paper and subtracting, 22.22. So I don't know. We'll see how this works. I decided to get this app instead of buying something or, going with one of the, I think there's a free option out there, and there's one that runs on Windows only that's like paid. I use a Mac, so I would at least appreciate a Mac or Linux version. But this phone app seems to work well enough so far, so we'll try this out for future group measuring. It's just after 11 o'clock and I'm done shooting for the day. Started off very cold and breezy this morning with not ideal conditions for 100 yards. Was able to get some groups out of it. I can see where the tendency for this rifle to shoot at 100 is. And then after that, I came to the came to the rimfire range to shoot at 50 yards in a quieter environment. Was able to verify my zero stop zero, and it is dead on with the Collis K525i. And those 2 groups that I shot were excellent, very accurate. And so I'm quite happy right now with this gun. For those of you who have not read the article that I wrote on this rifle, please go check it out, ocabj.net, and I'll link to it in the video description.
check it out. It's got full write-up right now of the build, the parts that I chose, and my initial testing results at 50. And then I'm probably going to release an update this week or next week after this vlog is posted with a write-up on my testing at 100 yards and my, where I'm going from here with this gun as far as ammo is concerned. But yeah, that's kind of it. So I'm going to go ahead and just pack up, get out of here, get some lunch on my day off, and then I'll probably get home in time to make a work call, which I said I would be on, which should only be about 30 or 45 minutes. And then, then enjoy the rest of my vacation day. Yeah, that's it for today's range vlog. Today is October 1st, Tuesday at the West End Gun Club. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next vlog. I grabbed the camera real quick to record just a little discussion here. As I was packing up, the one of the range officers that's on duty, just kind of maintaining the facility, saw the rifle was passing by, the Vudoo 22, and he came and asked me, is that a rimfire gun? I'm like, yeah, it's rimfire. See, 22? I'm like, yeah, it's a 22 long rifle. It's the second time it's happened. Range officers rolled by and they saw the Vudoo 22 and thought it was a centerfire gun and wanted to make sure that it was actually rimfire. Just thought it was funny because that's kind of one of the goals with a Vudoo 22 is to have a gun that is just like your centerfire gun, same exact form factor, but with chambered in 22. So it's just funny that it actually fools people who are trying to enforce some certain rules on the facility. For this part of the facility, like I said, this is the rimfire only range of the facility, and obviously the main line is whatever. But I just think it's funny that people come by and question whether or not that was a rimfire gun. But yeah, just wanted to mention that. See you later.